Hi guys. I'm sorry I'm so late. I don't know if you can see me. Oh my god, my hair. What a mess. What a mess. I'm learning, okay? I'm learning. Maybe, can you hear me? I hope so. I hope so. Okay, I look kind of rough, but it's okay. You know, it's fine. It's not about me. It's not about my face. Okay, and it's a good thing that I'm adjusting the light, that there are several broadcasts so I can change, okay, with time or whatever. Okay, there's so much to talk about. Oh my god. Oh my god. Whoa, whoa. Okay, I thought to myself, I have to be fast because there's a lot to do today. And one thing, okay, let's get started with several mini topics. Have you seen the video of Stephen Miller on CNN today? Stephen Miller was like, I can't, I regret not watching it enough that I missed out on like imitating him. That basically he's crazy. They're all crazy, but he was like, there was President Trump is doing a tremendous job. I mean, he was just like, he's insane. I can't imitate him anyway, but that was very interesting this morning. Okay. And then I want to talk to, I know it sounds like an infomercial, and I'm not really at all like doing an infomercial for this website, but I'm kind of like obsessed about this website called Body. What is it called? Bodylanguage.com, something like that. I wrote on my little blog here, and it talks about, it's very interesting because it discusses how you could tell when people are insincere. And of course, this obviously is a tarot thing, and I don't know much about body, but it's like, he's a doctor, and I'm fascinated, like even looking at Stephen Miller, he's such a creep. And what I'm really fascinated by, it's that I realize, I have to, because what I'm fascinated by is like, oh my god, it's too bright. I don't like bright things. Okay. Anyway, I look so whatever. I'm not gonna worry too much. Anyway, so okay, so basically, it's like, can everybody tell? Like, I don't understand how people vote for him or believe anything that guy says, because he's such a creep. So the only people who believe in him are like, serial killers or something. Like, who believes like Stephen Miller is anything other than like a serial killer, frustrated serial killer? Okay, like what else do you need? Okay, and I feel like, did you know this is like, it's so crazy. The rumor about, not a rumor, I read this story about how okay, I'm not making up, guys. Bannon had a math lab in his house or something like that when he lived in LA. There was like I don't know, I don't understand exactly the story, but like a bathtub was like, had all this acid. I don't understand the story, but I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's like a math lab in the White House or something. I would not be surprised. I mean, you can't be surprised about anything, but I'm like, these people are on something. Okay, they're just, I mean, yeah, they're crazy to begin with. But yes, right, there was some, you know what, maybe another day I'll have to find out more about this bathtub, because it's like some sort of story about like some acid. I don't understand exactly, but it's so weird. Okay. Anyway, so just starting well with, freak face. Oh my god, that's right. Jambi, I heard that one too about the bathtub, or he got rid of a body. Or like, really, it's like, this is like serial killer territory over here. Okay. So yeah, like I have to do some research on this, because it's like, what's the deal with this bathtub story? Okay. And we know that Bannon apologized today to Trump and his family for what he said in the book. And he didn't say the book was false. He just said, I'm sorry, or something like that. But of course, we know that happened because the Mercers publicly denounced him after the book. Okay, so that's significant. All right, so, okay, so there's so much to talk about. I'm like kind of growing crazy. All right, so oh my God, so many questions. Okay, so I'll just, yes, Michelle, yeah, exactly, right? It's just like the whole thing is like, I've never seen a person, I mean, not that I watch television all the time. He sleeps outside, yeah, exactly. He's like a dog. Paige, just like, I think Miller sleeps outside Trump's bedroom every door went before. Yeah, exactly. He's a dog, okay? And in the readings I've done about him, he is like a dog. He doesn't have his own ideas. Like he thinks, I guess maybe he reads like Hitler or something, but I don't think he he has very original ideas. Okay, so anyway, so what I was going to say about this whole thing is, yeah, his best friend. Yeah, but I said, like, when I did the reading about him, what I was surprised about is that, unlike Bannon, he really doesn't have his own ideas. Like, he's just a follower. Like, he's basically I'm trying to think of, like, he's the person who, like, he's the evil, like, doer. He just follows. He just, like, kisses ass or whatever. Okay, so okay, so I'm remembering here. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about, the book. Okay, so basically, I was on Twitter and, like, reading the news and watching MSNBC. Everybody's talking about this book, and I broke down. I bought it. I bought it on Kindle, and I'm reading it. I love it. I love this book because it's like, it's not, it's not pretending to be like a literary masterpiece. It's not pretending to be witty or anything. I feel like he tells it like it is. He just says it. Okay, and I feel like what's so great about this book, like the emotional experience of reading this book, is that obviously it's like everything is in one place, right? Like the whole story and all the characters together. And then you feel like he's just telling like it is, because I feel like all these journalists and the New York Times and whoever, I don't know, like, first of all, there's so many stories that it's hard to, like, have the whole picture. The book does that. Okay, gives you the whole picture. And then B, the other thing that's fascinating about it is that, like I said, it's like you feel like this is the first time I've read an article that tells it like it is. Because all the newspapers are like, obviously they have to, like, have citations and everything, but it's just like tells it like it's like we knew the whole thing was a mess. We knew the whole thing was, like, randomly put together. We know, like, Bannon is a horrible person who wants to kill immigrants, whatever. But it's like the way the book talks about it is really great. So that's why I feel like, obviously they haven't read the book, and I haven't finished the book or anything, but I know I could see why the book is successful and why Trump is so mad. Okay, so yeah, Lucianne is saying that Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Yeah, I don't think, was she even around? Because, you know why I think, Lucianne? Because the book is about the first 9 months of the presidency, and I don't remember when she started. Like, I don't remember. Spicer hasn't left that long ago. I know it sounds like a long time ago, but it was like over the summer or something. So by the time the summer happened, it was like, the book. Okay, the book. Okay. So anyway, so okay, guys, I'm not being disciplined. It's already 8 minutes in, and I have to be disciplined because we have so much to talk about. Okay, so, all right, you know what? Since we're talking, and I have an order. I had that order of questions, but since we're talking about the book, I feel like there's something important about this book. I feel like it's a watershed moment because it's a cultural moment. There's so many people talking about it, so many people reading it, and they haven't been able to kill it. Okay, so the question I want to ask first is, how will this book impact the Trump presidency and the Mueller investigation? Okay, how will you know what? Maybe just asking this, like, how will this book impact the Mueller investigation? Simple question. Okay, how will this book impact the Mueller investigation? Okay, because I feel like I watched, by the way, yesterday, Tracy Brown. I really love Tracy Brown. And she has her sidekick. I forgot his name, but I really like her, and I like him too, but I like her a lot. Like, she had one reading, it was just her. She said it was about Michael Wolff or something, and she said, after this, the fear is over. I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. Because it's probably true. Okay, like that. I feel like this book destabilized the narrative. Because I think part of the reason why we love it, or like we're so obsessed about it, is because it tells the truth. Nothing that Trump has said is true. It's all like a lie. It's all like some bullshit. And for the first time, you feel like you have an entire narrative that tells it like it is. Even if it's like maybe not all of it is true, but it rings true, and that matters more. Okay. Anyway, so what will be the impact of the Fire and Fury book on the life of the Trump presidency? What will be the impact of the Fire and Fury book on the life of the Trump presidency? Okay. All right. Okay. Someone said, I get a lot of people with suggestions or whatever. One of them was like, I need to see the cards, and I need to see. I'm like trying to think. I'm like, I just feel like, oh, hi, boobs. I like your like, I don't know. It's kind of awkward. I'm sorry. I feel like I still don't like to It's kind of weird. I have to try it again. I'm going to leave it as is, okay? Okay, all right. So, all right, 1, 2, 3. And then what would be the consequences of this Byron Fury book to the life of the Trump presidency? What will be the consequences of this book to the life of the because, like I said, I think there's something really huge here, okay? Especially in the public eye. It's almost like something couldn't be contained here, okay, by this book, something. Okay, what will be the impact of this book in the life of the Trump presidency? Okay, so I'm happy to see the coffin card now. Okay, so this is the center. Okay, this is the hermit. I don't know if you can see it. I wonder if this is clean enough. I don't know. Anyway, so this is the card, the hermit upside down. So the hermit is a card that speaks of isolation. Okay, and it's a card of a person, isolated madman, crazy person, and you have the coffin on top of it. So this is the top of the present. Okay, this is not the central card, but this is the top of the present. So what I feel it shows is that it's the death of the heart of it. Okay, so you have this card, the 9 of Cups upside down. I feel like a lot of times means you didn't quite, you got what you wanted, but not quite. It also is a card of luxury, okay, of focusing on material things. And it's also the be careful for what you wish for kind of card, okay? So at heart, the end of their heart, it got to their heart, it got to their values, okay? An ending to the madman, getting to their values. And the world domination, okay? Through the power, okay? And it's like, yeah, ending of what they love and their power, okay, or through their power, because you have the world here. So that's how it impacts. Because you know what I feel like? There's something about this book, I feel like it burst the bubble. I mean, obviously we knew he was fake, but the amount of revelations and the way they talk about everything, it makes so much sense. But then this is at the past, okay? So it's like trying to move away, but not being able to move away from their dreams. And the book, here you have the book underneath. So it's like the wrong victory. The book, the dreams, even though it could also be the dreams about their secret dreams. And their dreams revealed in the book through loyalists. So here's the card of the dog. And this is interesting because this is a card of card of heartbreak. And this card has come up once before. I think it was, to me, it could signify blackmail. It's external amounts of stress. Okay, and I remember one person, I did a reading for someone one time. Well, I guess it's a long story, but basically her husband was being blackmailed in a way or another. This came up. And also, like, it's interesting. Basically, it's a card of external pressures and too much stress that you have no control over, okay? It's not necessarily love. And this stress and the blackmail is being exerted on the loyalists. So it's revealing the pressure the loyalists are under, okay? I think. And one interesting thing about this, it's funny I say this because, like, sometimes people ask, like, how do you, it's like, it's funny, right? Because it's almost like, how do you even know? Like, it seems like it's like so it's almost like really far-fetched, right? Like, what does this mean? But it seems like that seems very clear to me, that it's like basically it revealed the shoddy nature of their win and the stress and the stress the loyal people are under, the ending of their, basically like getting right to their values. And then here on the probably what comes next, it's like the public, this is a group of people, society is like steadily winning, I feel like. Okay, so you have here, this is a card of the bully, like a person who's very aggressive, okay, legally aggressive. And you have the ring. Now that's just interesting because it feels like, I'll show you the other card. This is a card of the attachment to the wrong past. Like, you know how they're all like racist and they have this imagination about, they think that the 50s are great, or that like they want to bring back slavery. I mean, they're really like a horrible people. So that's what I feel it symbolizes here, okay? And moving on. So it's like, this is a card of positive changes, moving on to better things. So to me, this says we're moving on to better things. Now, what I feel this probably means, this is like a legal, some sort of, because the ring is always like a legal thing, okay? Like it could be marriage, but it's a business deal, but it's also something related to a contract. So I think what it means is, it's what's coming is that the public has a legal victory that creates positive change, okay? So that the question was, what will be the legal, not legal, the consequences of this book to the Trump administration, okay? So, so then if we look again, I'm looking here at, I'm sorry, at the, like, if I look at the diamond pattern here, it's like the coffin, the book, the book, in a way, bring an ending through the book that could reveal a deal or bring a deal, okay? Or maybe, could even reveal their dealings. The book revealed their dealings and their power, okay? And like how they got the power through these shady dealings, okay? And that it's like, I feel like things are moving away. What I get from this reading is that things are moving away from them. Like the waters are like, they're almost like are not able to contain it anymore. Okay, like contain the waters of like what they tried so hard to build. Because one of the things, and I'm going to move on to the next, but one of the things that this book talks about, I thought was very interesting, was about Bannon and the executive order of the Muslim ban. And Bannon was like, it's all shock and awe. Nobody knew anything about what they're doing in the government. They're like, oh, let's just do it. Let's just crush it all. Let's all, it was about creating chaos. But since nobody knew anything and they're all incompetent, things kind of began to fall apart. And I feel like if you have this energy where you like are going to start a battle or like create this quote unquote revolution, you still need people who are competent. But I don't think they have that. Okay, so that's what I feel like the moment now. It's like, it's so symbolic, the whole thing. Because if you think about it, like people who are truly intelligent, they're not going to be, even if you're truly evil at the same time, it's very difficult to be around someone like Trump, who's like kind of dumb. He has some elements of intelligence, but this is too much. Okay, so this is the book, how the book impacts. Now, this week, so this book, I feel like creates the shift to another page, okay? Things change for the better for the public, and the public begins to win again. All right, so the other question is like, hello, have you seen the Camp David photos? Like, what the hell was that? Okay. It reminded me, and I'm sorry, like, I don't mean to like compare them in any way to the brave people who suffered. But when you see the footage of during or after the Vietnam War, what was it? I don't remember exactly when John McCain and all the prisoners of war came out, or like if you've seen this footage of when they were in prison and they had to appear on broadcasts and they were like there, like they were like being tortured, and they had to like, they were blinking their eyes with Morse code to like, I'm being tortured or whatever they were saying. It's kind of like, even though I think they're all trash, Okay, like I see the amount of yeah, the amount of like, it's like you could tell. That's why I was like, I'm obsessed about that website, of the body language website. It's incredible because it's like you see, because everybody, we're all scared, like, oh my God, what are they gonna do? They're going to this meeting, like, are they gonna plot something? What the hell? But then when you see the photos of the meeting, of them like standing next to Trump, it's so obvious how uncomfortable they all are, and they're like, there's like, so like, there's no harmony between them, either like their whole, all their body language is bad. Okay, they seem very uncomfortable, unhappy, like sort of like a person who, it's funny, I don't want to talk about like something I've done. I had this job a long time ago that I worked with some financial conference. A long story, it doesn't matter what it was, but like when you have people in these conferences that are very detail oriented, like people get very tired. They have to sit there and like, it's exhausting, and a little bit like that. Like it's as if they've been through these conferences about, I don't know, data gathering. I don't know, whatever, like very detailed, it's like stuff that really makes you tired. Everybody looked like that. They were exhausted, not just physically, but mentally, and they were drained, and the energy was terrible. So anyway, I want to know, everybody wants to know, what are they doing? Okay. What are they doing at Camp David? What will be the result? I'm trying to think. Should it be, what the hell are they doing at Camp David? Yeah, they couldn't. Yeah, exactly. Couldn't write. What are they doing at Camp David now? And what will be the consequences to the public of their meeting in Camp David? And, whatever. It's like whatever. It's like, A, what were they doing there? B, what will they do as a result of this meeting in Camp David? And C, how will this meeting affect us? Most probably in the coming week, but if not, then later. So just repeating the question here to myself. So what are these people with Trump, I guess including him, but what are they doing there in this Camp David meeting, A? And then B, what decisions will they make, and what will they actually do as a result of this meeting? What will they decide? What will be the decision? Okay. And then C, will they succeed, in what they plan? Will they succeed in whatever plans they have, they're hatching now at Camp David? Okay. All right. So let me just do here now. So what the hell are they doing this weekend at Camp David? A, B. What decisions will they make there? What are they doing there? And what decisions will they do as a result of this meeting? Okay. And then will they succeed in their perspective? Will they succeed in whatever they choose to do? Okay. So I'm going to do a 9 card. Just kind of like the one I do often, like 3 rows. And all right, who are these people there? So unhappy. Oh my God. But can you imagine like a person, I guess they're all evil or whatever, but nobody wants to be near him. Like nobody like only Creeporama Stephen Miller cares about him. Like nobody really likes him, It's like, ugh, you gross. Anyway, so what tell us about Camp David, okay? All right. Yeah. Damage control. Yeah. It's almost like, it's like a child. It's like a kid. I don't have kids. I don't know much about boys. It sounds like, reminds me of like boys when they're playing like, I don't know, they're whatever camp, or like, I guess Boy Scouts. I don't know what they do, but they just kind of like have to, like, it's like they're playing. They're not. It's not real for them, or maybe for Trump, it's not. You know what I mean? It's crazy how that is, but that's what it feels like. Okay. All righty. All right. Center. So we want to do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay. So the first part is, what the hell are they doing? So it's saying that This is a man making an offer. Like, it's like a person who got offered something and doesn't kind of like, I see it somewhat positive, as pretty positive, but it's like a person who has options but doesn't want to, like, is not quite happy with what he has, apathetic. And I feel like this, I see this as stubbornness. People may have different interpretations, but this is a gentleman. I think this could be Trump because it's at the beginning of the reading, just signifying a male figure. And I think here it's basically he's being very stubborn. This is a card of a person having a very hard time making a decision. And I think this is even worse. Okay, like it's about making a decision. It's really like being stuck and apathetic and not being able to do anything. And yeah, they have dark. So yeah, so it's a secret. Okay, so they're like discussing. It is, you know, it's funny because this could also be the actual book, but they're having a hard time making a decision, secret decision. Like, what do they do? What do we do? And here this is a strength card upside down, not in a good position. Okay, it's like you're weak. They feel weak, and this is news. So what I feel like is that they're trying, like the meeting is about messaging, because this is the card writer here is a card about news in terms of messages, like something. So they're plotting and they're not quite sure how to also respond to the actual book, but how to secretly plot a shift in messaging. Okay. And their messaging and their, like, the way they speak and the way they communicate their information is coming from a weak place. Okay. So that's the point of the meeting, is to come up with messaging and a new story. Okay. But they are having a hard time coming up with this story and how to, like, have new talking points. Okay. So that's the purpose of the meeting. Now, oh, interesting. So, okay. So then the second part of the question is, what will they decide to do? Okay, okay. All right. Okay, let me find out. Okay, so then this is interesting. Okay, this is a Emperor upside down is like the wrong side of leadership, a person abusing power. Okay, obviously Trump. And you have the dotard card here on top. So it's like the older man who is insane and he is losing grip with reality. Okay. And then this is a card of debt, quid pro quo card. Okay. And clouds. So hidden quid pro quo. So decision, it's interesting because here it's like they're making some sort of decision about how to hide the quid pro quo revelations. That's what I feel like it's coming out, maybe. Okay, because the question was, this part is like, what do they decide to do, okay, as a result of this meeting? It's something to do with Trump's debts, Trump's quid pro quo. Okay. Through some sort of, I mean, okay, this is a card of reason and fairness and analysis, a cold mind, like a intelligent, right? Those kinds of associations. Okay. And now you have the scythe here, which is interesting. So I hope this is interesting because it tells me, they could be plotting to cut something. And I'm thinking here, I wonder if they decide to cut Mueller or something. Like, I don't think because this is like what they decide, what they want to do. Okay, this is not, the Mueller isn't here, but it's like they decide. Scythe card can also mean abrupt decision. Okay, so it could mean that the crazy man who's abusing power decides to hide further their quid pro quo relationships through, basically, it could also mean through decisions that are kind of out of nowhere, okay, which impulsive decisions, okay, which is obviously Trump. Now, okay, so how does this impact us? Is the remainder of of the question, okay? So this is, it's interesting. Like, I feel like, you know what this is about, our like how we see what's happening, what's unfolding. So this is a card of averting death. Like we're super worried about an ending, and we're like super worried. Okay, so we're like worried, and what are we worried about? What are we feeling this sense of foreboding and not fear, but challenge? It's like our position in the world. Okay, this is what concerns us: money and our position in the world. This is what worries us. And I think, but interestingly enough, this is a card of moving away to better. This is, if you look at this card very closely, you see the shaky waters moving on to still waters, like to better. It's like going from crazy to calm. Okay. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Okay, so this is long-term problem. So you could also, this is interesting, okay, because this is like, how could this impact us? So it's like, are concerned about our position in the world leading to, because of long-term problems. But I think it could also mean that we're moving away from long-term problems. Okay, so at the same time, this is I feel like they're going to try to push, you know how I think that their strategy is fear. So I feel like they want to really push things as far away as they can. Okay, so what's interesting here is that if we look at how the cards interact with each other in terms of past, present, and future, it's saying here basically the older man who's abusing power and has tantrums is guilty, okay, and he doesn't want to leave, okay, like this. And then he's dealing with problems with his secret that he's had, and he's like quid pro quo secrets, and his reputation in the world. And it could also be that the secret could also be the book shines light on his secrets and his position in the world, which is built through having these secrets and the shady deals, okay? And then in the future, we get news about from a person in a weak position about some sort of a legal decision, probably out of nowhere, that will move us away from long-term problems, okay? So it could be a news of an ending because of long-term problems. Okay, so I don't know if it's him, and I don't know, it's the feeling I get here is they're going to try to push the tension further. And what's it? Show cards a little more to your right. Okay, yeah. Oh, you know, is it the light? The light is too bright, right? I think so. Okay, anyway. So yeah, like anyway, trying to go back here a little bit to show the like the diamond pattern of the cards. It's like the secrets of dotard create an ending to his reputation. Okay. Oh, here somebody said show the cards to the right. Maybe I should get closer. You know, I'm trying to do this. I don't know. Maybe I can be a little bit far away. Maybe it helps. Okay, so basically, so yeah, basically here, I feel like you could see what this is showing is that his secrets bring an ending to his reputation. It could also mean yeah, here. Anyway, it's like I was saying, the feeling I get from this, the thing about the Camp David and what they're trying to do here is they're trying to push the tension further. They're not going to, but if you look at, there's that lawyer, Roy Cohn, who supposedly is Trump's mentor and a horrible person. He was he died of AIDS. There's a long story about him, but not supposedly he was a horrible person. But basically, he's always like attack, 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 and never give in. And I think they're pushing the tension as far as they can. They're not like showing, you know, the desperation. They're showing the body language that we have seen, but I think they're going to create even more crazy. Like, well, here, Donna said, someone said, hey, let me go back here, that somebody said about Lindsey Graham was saying something today that they're going to appoint a special counsel to investigate the special counsel. Like, that's a joke. Like, come on, there's a limit, you know? And so funny today, it's kind of crazy. Maybe the next broadcast, this will be ready. But like, I made some beats, okay? For basically, like, it's basically little choruses of songs like Miller time, yeah, baby, like stuff like that. You know, that's it. All I'll talk about. But I was finding all the memorable lines from James Comey and Rosenstein. Rosenstein was saying amazing things about Miller. Like Miller, he was like, he's so qualified, and he's the greatest person you could have for this role. And here they are, you know, just trying to like come up with bullshit to like F him up. Okay, so anyway, but the thing about Lindsey Graham's thing, it's like they are pushing it harder. Okay, they're pushing and pushing to try to like create this atmosphere of terror. And I reposted on the YouTube channel the thing about North Korea, and I really strongly have the feeling that for them it's all about creating this fear theater, you know, like the whole thing of like, oh, like there's a war coming around the corner. They really are pushing it because they want people to be afraid. Because if people are afraid, they could get away with whatever. Okay. So, all right. So, you know what? One thing I wanted to ask is that should we, and I feel like I've asked this so many times, but I feel like these questions, I hate having this question on my mind, which is about the Mueller investigation. Like they have these crazy ideas. They're going to stop the Mueller. Will they be able to somehow remove Mueller? Should we ask, guys? Should I ask it just quickly? 5 cards. Like, will they succeed in? Okay, yeah. So yeah, will they succeed? You know, now every day I feel like they try harder and harder. Will they succeed in removing Mueller from the investigation? Because I don't think that. Yes. Okay. Let me just ask that directly. Because I don't think they will. Okay. And even if they try to remove Mueller, they will not be able to remove the investigation. They will just remove him. Okay, but let's ask that question. Like, will they succeed, regardless of how long it takes, will they succeed to remove Mueller from the investigation? Okay. Will they succeed in removing Mueller from the Mueller investigation? Because they're so desperate. It's obvious that they're on the losing end and everything, but will they succeed in removing Mueller from the Mueller investigation? Yeah. Will they succeed? Because they threaten everybody, right? Andrew McCabe, anybody, and like everything in the FBI. So will they succeed in removing Mueller from the Mueller investigation? Okay. Will they succeed in removing Mueller from the Mueller investigation? God, please help Mueller. He's the best. He's our hero. Help him. But we need to know. We need to know. Will they succeed in removing Mueller from the Mueller investigation? Okay. Now the other little cards, and I feel like it takes forever because I have these 2 sets of cards. Okay, so will they succeed in removing Mueller from the Mueller investigation? They succeed in removing Mueller. Okay, guys, so I'm closing my eyes, and I've said this before, and I'm kind of like this, that I would do this live because these things show up. So I have this image as I ask this question, and I'm shuffling the cards. I have an image of a rat's, what is the word of, like, you know what, a rat trap. Okay, so there's a trap in place. So if they try to remove the cheese, they get caught. I feel like there is, okay, this is before. Okay, this is before. I'm not looking at the cards. I'm just closing my eyes and see this image. I see the image of Mueller, like, ha, you know, the image of him laughing like he's so happy. So I feel like there's a group of people in the government, in the very high level of the government, who are supporting Mueller. Like he's safe, and they're telling him, you are very safe. There's nothing to worry about. Let's put these measures in place. If they decide to do it, things come out. And I think some people in Twitter have said something like there's indictments, and if they decide to fire him, and these things come out. So that's what it's showing me. Okay, I'm not doing the cards now if they will succeed in removal. But basically what I'm showing here is that he's safe, and there's very strong people, I don't know who they are in the government, like not Trump, who are like, you're safe, and you know, this is what's coming next or whatever. Like, you know, we know that this is possible. There are several legal minds, like very serious people, and they're like, they just kind of created this trap for them, so that the moment they try to do something, the whole thing grabs them at once. Okay, so they're really, they're not, okay, so that's just the image I have. I should explain to you the image I have. So now let's look at the cards. Will they succeed in removing Mueller from the investigation? Okay, all right, so, and then here, okay, so let's say five cards. I think these are good. Okay. Okay. See what happens. See the center. Yeah, this is like people who are unhappy. Powerful people are unhappy. Okay, this is a group of people celebrating, and this is a group of people not celebrating. Like they're kind of like, okay. So that's the center. Now let's see here. Aggressive White House, talking and trying to avert poverty. I don't think so. Okay, I'll show you the cards just quickly here. This is a card of a kind of like a bullying, fighting person, the White House. Okay, that's clearly their attitude. Okay, here. And then a person averting poverty. Okay, trying to leave poverty, trying to, and I think in a way, if you can interpret this card in the context that we're asking, as a person, like they know that hardships are coming. Okay, so they're this is, what is this? Talking, being aggressive, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so just talk, and the basis of the talk is their fear of poverty, and they're unhappy, an unhappy group of people in power. Okay, now we have money problems, money issues, and the tree. So power grows. This is the devil, ends with the devil upside down. So it's like, I think they're it's just an illusion, okay? And this is a decision. It comes to a decision. So I honestly, I don't see them, if they had succeeded, if there was an, let me show you here. If there was an indication that they will have, I don't see anything related to removal or ending. Okay. Here it's basically the House talking, having meetings about power, or to people in power, about staying in power. Because it's interesting, because the card of tree is a card of health. It can sometimes be a card of spirituality, but it's a card of health. Okay. So basically they're trying to stay as a tree. But this is a card, I've said this before in this series of readings, this is a card about elections. So the question here is really their power growing through elections. So I think that it goes back to they're threatened. So what the cards are showing here is that they're doing this they're trying to stay, but I don't think they will be able to very long. Okay. Like, I don't think, like I said, I don't see Mueller here. I don't see, oh, you know what? There's another way. Like, I honestly, I don't see anything happening. I think they're just muscling their way. Oh, that's interesting. Somebody, yeah, it's like, I feel like they're muscling their way. Oh, it's Benjamin. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know who it is, but basically it's like, I don't see them removing him. I just feel like it's like they're doing this gymnastics to try to stay in power. but because I think they know ultimately this is limited. Now we know what we could do. I don't know if you guys want. I think I want to do this now. This is a right time. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I found Mueller's card. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to look into him at like how does his longevity look like? What's going to happen to his position in the next? It's like, is it staying where he is? Like, how is he under? I'm gonna maybe, I don't know if I'm gonna ask the same question, but I feel like, is he safe in his position? I'm gonna ask again. I feel bad, guys. I feel like I'm repetitive, but I feel like I want to know. I feel like it would be interesting because what I showed in the reading that I did just now was that they're just muscling their way, trying to stay in power but that's inevitable. They're not able to remove Mueller. But let's ask from a different perspective, like looking at Mueller, okay? What does his job stability look like? How stable is his position? Do you see him no, I feel like, do you see him staying where he is? Okay. Do you see his job? Oh, you know what? I'm going to a good way of asking it. Is he going to stay where he is in the next, as long as the investigation lasts? Is his job secure? Is he going to stay where he is? Okay. Is Mueller, everybody, like, stay strong. I'm sure he's like, whatever, I don't care. He doesn't care about us, but like, he's like doing his job, that's all he does. Like, he does his job. So it's like, he's like, so is his job safe? Is he going to stay where he is in the next, as long as what are the odds that he's going to stay just where he is until the investigation is done? What are the odds? What does it look like for Mueller? Is he going to stay just where he is until the investigation is done? Will he be able to complete the investigation in the same place where he is today? Will he continue to be doing his job? Okay, because we need to know, basically, like, will he continue to be doing his job? Will he be in the same place? Okay, as he is now that he was before, like, okay, so will he continue to be in the same place as he was before? Okay. Yeah, Patty Joe's a good point. Okay. Will he continue to be is his job secure? Will be in the same place at the end of an investigation as it is now? Okay. And I feel like, I know I've read about this, and I'm getting another image again. I'm getting an image of a man. I've read this before, by the way. There's a much older man that works with him, and it's the guy who was the prosecutor in Watergate and is a friend of his. So that's his main consigliere, whatever you say, I don't know, but he's really helping him out, like making sure, I mean, not that he needs help, but it's like they really are putting everything, like it's almost like a puzzle, a very tight puzzle that doesn't give them a way out at all. Like they have no idea how everything is like so tight. Okay, that's the feeling, I guess. So anyway, so will Mueller be able to complete the investigation, and will he stay exactly where he is? Okay, that's it. We want to know. That's what we want, cards. We want to know that he's going to be just where he is until the investigation is done. We'll be able to do that. Okay, that's what we need to know. That's what will calm us. Okay, that's it. Okay, now I did that. So please, cards, this is what we need to know. We need to know if Mueller is going to stay just where he is until the investigation is done. Okay, we need to know that we want him to stay. We want him to stay just where he is until the investigation is done. Will he be able to do that? Okay, will he be able to do that? Because there's so many horrible people trying to, so many people trying to like mess with him. Okay, so will he be able to stay just where he is? Okay, all right, okay, righty. Okay, and I feel like, guys, I see an image of like people over there on the other side. Like there's so many people, like almost like God or no, ever. Like it's so bright. He has so much protection. You have no idea. We have no idea. It's like, and I feel the message I'm getting. They're like, you guys don't understand. We put him in this place because he's so protected. like his whole life he was prepared for this, and that's why we chose him to follow, to like, you know, to yeah. See here. Yeah, I don't. Will he remain where? Will it be where he is? Yeah. Okay. Stay where he is. Okay. I'm gonna get nervous. All right. Okay. Anyway. So, okay, guys. So this is like, it's just bad. This is part of bad news. Okay. Bad messages or bad news, an expansion, an illusion, and a child. So the child is trying to throw a wrench into the what does it say? The child is trying to throw a wrench into the length of the investigation. There's imbalance, okay, instability, a lot of aggression against him. And quickly, there's a mountain. Now, I don't think, it's just basically, I think they're throwing wrenches. I don't see him leaving, okay? I don't see him leaving, but I think it's like, it's interesting because if we see here, if we look at I like looking at the little Normans more. So expansion into the child, right? So into Trump, and then aggression and long-term problems. So the fact that, yes, the fact that the investigation expanded created a lot of aggression against the investigation itself and probably him, and long-term problems for the child. Okay, so I think that's what it's trying. And I pulled more cards. Will he be there? Okay, I just was like, I want to know. And then so this, I got this Ace of Wands and the heart. So I think yes, he'll be there. Okay. Maybe I should, I'm gonna put one more card. Like, will he be removed? Will he be removed? No. Like, if see here, aggression, a lot of aggression, and the sun. The sun is a great card. It's like looking to react. Like, will it continue? Will it continue where he is? Yeah, it's like assertive, but there's stuff behind his, like, stuff behind the scenes. They're trying to. Will they succeed in removing him behind the scenes? No, like, it's like really good relationships, good relationship, moving on to something better, but he's not moving away. I think, you know what it is? It's like the image I have in my mind. It's like Vietnam War movies, where there's like battles, like serious battles, bombs being like blowing every direction. Okay, because they really are going for it. They're the enemy. Like, really, if we think about it, it's like we don't understand why he's doing that to Mueller, because we love Mueller and we know he basically wants the truth. That's all he wants, okay? But for them, it's like they're the enemy. And it's like the enemy wants to kill him because he's going to end them, okay? Once this is over, like Mueller did, he finished the mob. Like, it's not going to end well for them. It's like he's not a guy who, like, he's not going to cut a deal with anybody, okay? He's not like, oh yeah, don't worry, just give me money and I'll go away. Like, he's not going to wait. He doesn't care. And it's interesting because Mueller is in a position where he doesn't have anything to prove, in a way. Like, he doesn't have, like, he already has like a stellar record. So it's not like he's like, oh, this is my chance to show the world who I am. Like, no, he's like, whatever, I don't care. Like, I'm done, So it's like he really doesn't have anything to prove. Yeah, will they never? I don't think he has any dirt. Like, if there was any dirt against him, they would have already. I feel like, I don't think he will be removed, but I think they will put, they will put a lot of, like, okay, let me, another question. I'm sorry. I feel like, guys, tell me if I'm like being repetitive. I should move on to, there are so many questions, but will they succeed in stopping the Mueller investigation? It's another question, because we talked about, will they remove Mueller? Okay. And I think they're going to put a lot of, like, problems in front of him, but I don't think they will, honestly. But now let's see if they will be able to stop the Mueller investigation entirely, because they're trying to, like, they're like, okay, we're going to start an investigation into what's her name? Hillary, you know, we're going to do this. They're trying to like distract. So that's not, you know, they're trying everything within their power to stop the investigation. Now, will they succeed? Will they be able to stop the Mueller investigation? Okay, that's the basic question. We see that they were not able to, yeah, can you imagine Scott Pruitt, like, oh my God, what like creep, like, okay, so will they be able to stop the Mueller investigation? Even if they can't stop Mueller, will they stop the Mueller investigation? Okay, what will happen to their attempt to stop it? Will they be able to stop it? Like, okay, they can't remove Mueller. Mueller stays, but can they stop the investigation? Okay, can they stop the investigation? Yeah. Yeah, you know what I think? Don is saying something interesting here about how Jake Tapper, like his strategy. What I think happened to this book is that I think journalists realize that they have the power to be more assertive because the public is on their side. Like when they're like, okay, no, shut up, like then, you know, then that's it. Okay. Okay, somebody asked if I have a sense of who they, I don't know. Okay, so let's just see, will they be able to stop the investigation? Even if they can't stop Mueller, will they stop the investigation? Okay. If they can't stop Mueller, will they stop the investigation? Just 3. If they can't stop Mueller, will they be able to stop the investigation and the consequences of the investigation? Okay. No. Yeah, it's like you hear again, the crazy, this is a card of madness in the White House. I'm sorry, madness because of the extension, star, okay. And then star again, hope about the White House or some sort of hope. The mad people hope. Expansion into, I think it's expansion into the White House. This is a card of quid pro quo, leads to positive changes. So I don't think I don't think they can. Because it's also a card of going away. I don't think they can go, you know what? I don't think they're able to, I think they may leave. They may have to leave ultimately. Okay, if anything. They are not able to stop the investigation and they may have to leave eventually. Them, okay? They may leave. You know one interesting thing, I haven't talked about this. This combination of cards is when you move from a house, okay? So this could show that they have to move away from the White House. It's a card, yeah, it's a card when it shows like, oh, you're moving. You're going either moving to a different city or you're basically not leaving the home. That's it. They're leaving the White House. So the expansion of the White House probably ensures that they will have to leave the White House. Okay. All right. So that's really I don't see the investigation ending. Okay. So I feel like I asked enough about Mueller and the investigation. And no, the answer is no. They'll try. They will do everything in their power because to them it's a war. For us, it's not a war because we're happy. We're rooting for him. But if we put ourselves in their perspective, it's like, oh, they find our money, they're going to put us in jail. Like they'll do anything. And I feel like never in history of this country, I think, have such criminal people have been have had so much power. And that's why, you know, like it's a combination of the news, Fox News and all these people and Russia and the Republicans and Trump. So it's like there's a lot of people working on this. And even them, they can't get away with everything they want. Okay. All right. So I think that answered the question about like Mueller and the health of the investigation. Like, okay, there's just a lot, it's battles, but he stays and they end up having to leave. Okay. Now, so we answered the question about, okay, the Camp David question, we understood what it's about, the book. Now so guys, we're at a point where we have to talk about Jeff Sessions, because Jeff Sessions is a big part of it. They're trying to somehow, he wasn't invited to that meeting, okay? So the interesting thing about Jeff Sessions is like, I feel like, is Jeff Sessions going to stay? Will Jeff Sessions stay in his job now? Okay, one question. Will he stay in his job? Will Trump succeed in moving Jeff Sessions away from his job? One, okay. And then two, because I saw that in a reading I did about Jeff Sessions, several, like a different kind of readings, I see him collaborating with Mueller. So let's ask again. A, will Trump succeed? Okay, Trump wants Jeff Sessions. Trump clearly wants Jeff Sessions away, to remove Jeff Sessions. Will Trump succeed in removing Jeff Sessions? Or, you know, what's going on with Jeff Sessions' job? Will he stay? Okay. And then B, will Jeff Sessions will Jeff Sessions collaborate with Mueller? Okay, regardless of whether he stays or not. Will Jeff Sessions end up collaborating with Mueller? And what will be the legal consequences for Jeff Sessions of the Russia investigation, and whether he will be collaborating with Mueller? Okay, so let's ask the first question. You know, I think I can ask into one question. What's going on with Jeff Sessions? Will he stay in his job? Will he collaborate with Mueller? Okay. You know what? Let me actually pull out the card for Mueller, because I think, you know, it would be helpful to see what his position is. Okay, here's Mueller. So, will Jeff Sessions collaborate with Mueller? Okay, and then just pull out the card for gentlemen here, because I want, because I feel like I want to know where he's going to be. Like, is it safe in his job? Here, what's going on with him? And will Mueller, because it's so sad. So I'm splitting it here. This is Jeff Sessions. This is Mueller. So I'm going to ask, like, what, you know. Yeah, it's funny. Jeff Sessions. So how will Mueller approach Jeff Sessions, and will Jeff Sessions collaborate with Mueller? And what will be the legal consequences? Okay. So how will Mueller approach Jeff? So for a simple question, will Jeff Sessions stay in his job? Okay, will he stay in his job? Okay, and then B, how will Mueller approach him for the Mueller investigation? It's all about Jeff Sessions, but also addressing. Okay, all right. So Jeff Sessions is a horrible man. Jeff Sessions is a bigot. Jeff Sessions is a horrible man. Jeff Sessions is a bigot. Okay, so yeah. So Jeff Sessions, will he stay in his job? And then how will Mueller approach him? Okay, will Jeff Sessions stay in his job? And how will Mueller approach him? Okay. Jeff Sessions is a horrible man. Jeff Sessions is a bigot. Jeff Sessions is a horrible man. Jeff Sessions is a coward. Jeff Sessions is a horrible man. Jeff Sessions is a coward. Okay, so Jeff Sessions. How will Trump approach Jeff Sessions, and will he stay in his job? 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, okay. So here we have, let's see, 5 cards here. Let's stay in his job, right? So let's see here. Okay. Huh. Let's see. Okay, so, all right. So yeah, I think he does stay. And then, okay, then let's see about the legal. How does Mueller approach him? Does he talk to Mueller? And what happens to him legally? Yep, he talks and he cuts a deal. Okay. All right. So anyway, so let's talk about first. It's so funny because I had a list of topics, but I feel like the reading became something else a little bit different. But I think I was gonna say yeah, I feel like it happened organically. Okay, that we have these pressing questions as well that we need to know because it's related to the Camp David thing. Okay, so the question really is, will Jeff Sessions stay in his job? And I had said before, I chose the card for him before as a significator, and I realized I forgot about it, but then it came up again, like it's the older man. It could be him, and I think it's Trump. So this is a card of victory, public recognition. So no, I mean, he stays. I think if he had to leave, we would know, okay, if he left. So I think, and I feel like here you could say, well, this is Dotard. Dotard wins, but I don't see him leaving at all. So I think this is him. This is older man, public, like in the like rejoicing in the public, okay? And the older man rejoicing in the public. Could be true, but I don't think he is. Okay, so now why? What happens here? So this is a death. Upside down, it means averting death. So he's a snake. Okay, he's a snake averting death. He's worried about his longevity and he wants to avoid death. This is a card of poverty. Okay, fear. Basically poverty, being alone. He feels this is karma and guilt. So the snake feels bad. The snake feels guilty. He feels he's alone. Okay, poor thing, right? But ultimately, I think he wins, right? So I feel like what I get from him is like, you know, it's funny they say about cockroaches that they're like this disgusting insect that has lived and survived for billions of years. That's Jeff Sessions. Like he can withstand a lot because I feel like that's his dream. He's achieved from his perspective, he's achieved his dream. Okay. And I feel like he's not going away. He's like, dude, whatever. Like, I bake cakes for that man, and that's how he treats me after all this time. Like, so whatever. Like, you know, he's like, whatever, dude. I've been working on this. You're like some like new person that has nothing to offer. Okay. So what happens is like, I feel like, and I'll tell you why. Then there's other part of the reading about the legal things and the Mueller investigation. But for now, this is a card of the sun, and the sun means clarity, right? It means happiness and clarity. Clarity about the clouds. And what are these clouds related to? Related to wrong works, related to lots of money. So I think what happens is, as a payback to Trump for doing everything that he's done, he talks. And he knows, and he talks about what he knows. And what does he know? He knows about the shady money relationships and people coming together through money because of money, okay? So that's what ends up happening. I feel like Sessions talks, okay? He talks. He's like, whatever, I'm going to stay where I am. Not only that, I'm gonna talk because I feel like, you know what's so funny? As most of I think all of you probably, Jeff Sessions is a despicable person, okay, in terms of his policies. Okay, but at the same time, I feel this empathy towards him, okay, because I feel like he's like, I've put so much on the line. I spent my entire life fighting for these horrible ideas, but this is what I get as a payback for this guy who, and I feel like maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if he was poor, but I get a sense that he worked for a long time, like to get where he is. He's not like Trump, okay? And he's pissed that like this guy treats him like this. Oh, and I remember reading some article like a while back that said like Jeff Sessions was so appalled at how Trump treated him. He said like nobody has ever treated me like this in my life. So I feel like he got very hurt by Trump, okay? And that's how he gets his revenge. Okay, so now let's talk about the Russia investigation and Mueller and how Mueller okay, let's see, I'm separating because I've put together this thing. So anyway, so I'm going to talk row by row, and definitely he talks. Okay, all right. So okay, so here we have, so the first question, so it's that reading with 3 rows, okay, 3 3 3, and the first question is, like I said here, it's like well, especially actually this is a little bit different in the case of Sessions, which is it's a little bit of a specific situation here. He's not, anyway, it's like Sessions a little bit different because he's not like everybody else. He's in some ways he's not in control of the investigation, but he's in the Department of Justice. Is special case. So basically, the question was, how does Mueller approach Sessions? How does he approach him? That was a simple question. First question. Here's a lot of money. A person. If we look at this card very closely, I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna try to like. There's all this like. I don't know. The light is really too bright here. Much reflection. I don't know. It's dark. Somebody. I don't know, guys. So anyway, but this at least you can see here. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I can see here. Oh yeah, I fixed it. So okay, so you can see the card. It's a very interesting card. Like an older man here, enjoying the fruits of his labor. Like he's a wealthy man, okay, or a person who, and you see here probably related to education and so forth. So it's like a person who has arrived at the top of power, and that's Jeff Sessions. Okay, so I think he approaches him by saying, "Look, you're somebody who got to the top, okay, and you're key." So here, and I've said this before in some readings in the past, when the key comes up, it's saying solution. It's also saying, if we're looking at a legal context, it's about key witness, okay? So that's basically the gist of the question that I have. I know I have, and you guys have this question too. Anyway, yeah, so basically, I see that he says to him, like, you're at the top of you should be enjoying your position, okay? Instead of like putting yourself in this like, okay, in this danger, like you're being treated badly. And this is a person who's disappointed. And I feel like this reminds me of the reading I've done about him before. It's confirming. It's like, okay, so you're disappointed. He's saying, look, you're the top of your power, but you know, you got there and you are disappointed and you want to stay, okay, anchor like a long time. You want to stay where you are, you want stability. And he's using his disappointment. So why don't you tell us about the money stuff you know about? Okay. And this is the sun, because he has the sun. So that's what I get. He's saying, he's like, look, you know, you're a key person. You could become a witness. And you can become a witness and maintain your position. All you have to do is to show us the money. Like, tell us where the bodies are buried, okay? That's how he approaches him. Now, so the question, and then the second part is he is he indicted, okay? Or like, what is he indicted, or like how does he talk to Mueller? Okay. The second question is, does he talk to Mueller? Okay. So this is a card of, again, I've said this showed up just the other reading now, right? It's the card of the wrongful past. Like, you know, he's very attached to this like Jim Crow ideas, and like he's pro. I'm sure he's pro. He's like, I don't know anything about it, like the details of KKK, but I'm sure he must have some kind of, you know, whatever, like role in those things. He's like attached to a past that never existed. Like he's nostalgia about like wrong things. Okay. And for a long time. So he's been focused on that for a long time. He's worked very hard towards these corrupt ideas. Okay. So a long climb to fulfill these corrupt ideas that he has. And Russia, okay, that's because the Russia card comes. So this is money, wrong money. But Russia comes and helps him. So, you know, I struggled through this. I was like, you know, I'm a racist person. I hate civil rights. And I feel like the world should be, you know, full of concentration camps, and women and children should be separated from their mothers. That's how I see the world. Nobody buys my ideas. Oh my God, I'm so sad. And there comes Russia and it's like, look, we think you're great. You know, we think you're, yeah. He's like, oh, look, but Russia believes me. Russia really understands that slavery is not so bad. You know, Russia understands that, you know, why not have concentration camps? Why not have whatever, like, you know, because it's like so crazy. And Russia is so smart because Russia was able to exploit racism for their advantage. So they infiltrated all these like ultra racist networks. And that's what he's showing. So he's showing that, you know, there I was. I wanted to, you know, to believe. I've been working on this for a long time. Like, whatever. He's probably like, I was trying to bring lynching back. Like, whatever. Like, there's no excuse for like, his bullshit. So, but he believes in it and he wants to continue, you know, the bullshit. But nobody was helping him. But then along comes Russia with shady money. Okay. So that's what he talks about. All right. And then, okay, so then the final question is like, is he like, does he go to jail? Like, what happens to him? Okay, is indicted, does he go to jail? Okay. And no, why? Because right away you have very clear cards here. Justice card with a ring. He gets a deal. So he talks, he gets a deal. And he talks about the crazy man. This is a wrong, it's like the person, anger, man, like fire sign, the wrong elements of fire sign, the King of Wands reversed, angry person, unpredictable, power. So he gets a deal, and the deal has to do with the power moves, the power in the government, and the changes they wanted to make in the government. Okay, so I don't think that anything really bad happens to him at all, because he talks. Okay, he talks here, and he makes a deal about maintaining his position of power in the government. I don't believe that it becomes tenable, okay, to stay obviously in the government once the whole thing is removed. But I think what you see here is that he gets a deal, okay, a good deal, because it talks about the power deals that Trump made to get to the government. Okay, so that's what I think happens to Jeff Sessions. And in a way, I feel like I see him at sort of like the end of his life, and like he's like, he feels the weight has been lifted off of his shoulders. Like he knows that, you know, interesting. Yeah. So it's like, exactly, like he has a stake. I'm sure he does, because I feel like, why, you know, the whole thing about pot, like I don't smoke pot or anything. I'm like very like square person, but I'm like, that's so not irrelevant. Like that's not a problem at all. Like there's so many real problems. And he's like, even with the whole election thing, like there's so many, like we're under attack and everything. They're like, oh, I'm going to go after people who smoke pot. Like, talk about not a problem. Okay. Talk about whatever. Like, you know, it's just so wrong. Like the focus on it. Oh, and of course it's so blatantly racist. Okay. Because they're targeting people of color, and the whole, you know, they even talk with the most, like all their stuff is so racist and ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, he's like, yeah, like I don't honestly, I don't see. That's what I feel like. He's like, he gets a deal, but he's not like he's like. I feel what I'm feeling here is that like what I sense. Like I said, all the cards indicate that he talks about everything he knows, especially in terms of money, and especially in terms of how the Russians came to him when he felt like his like regressive ideas and like ridiculous ideas. Nobody was buying them, but the Russians did. So he went out, they kind of connected over that. And so I feel like when I see him, it's almost like I see like a little man with a little soul. And when he talks for the first time in my life, it feels like he can be himself in a good way, like in the sense that he understands that he was wrong and that the reasons why he was pursuing these like shady ideas was that he has problems with his sexuality. It was a way to like to distract himself from himself. Okay, because I think he actually does understand eventually once this whole thing concludes. And the thing about him is that he did recuse himself and decide he was like, no, in a weird way, I feel like he does know the law in some very like crazy way. Okay. Yeah. He's trying definitely. That's because that's the goal of these people. That's what they hate civil rights. They want, but it's like their whole but the problem with them is that their purpose is mistaken. Okay, they go for the wrong things, and it's like there's no legs there because you could even argue like back in the day, some Republicans they were able to like these people are so incompetent that they can't get anything together. And if you read this book, that's why I'm reading it. And something I understood about Ron Rosenstein, whatever, like it talks about the Comey firing, and I haven't finished the whole that part, but it's saying like how somehow Trump he used Rosenstein to kind of like try to like he made that decision because of Jared Kushner, and Jared Kushner's dad was very heavily involved in firing Comey because Jared Kushner's dad owns anyway, so he's like has like some shady things or whatever. So he's like, oh yeah, let's fire him. So then he fires Comey, and it's like all the problems happen, because the whole country goes against him, and it creates serious problems. So anyway, so Rosenstein is like, oh, he felt used by him. He was like appalled at how he was treated, and as a revenge, not a revenge, but he was like, you know what, great, you know what, I'm gonna appoint the best person in the world for this, Robert Mueller. So I understood now why, like, because it's funny. I remember when the whole thing happened, and people were like, "Oh, Rosenstein's disgusting." It's something about Rosenstein. I always had a good feeling about him, even though he was like kind of shady or whatever. Like I feel like Rosenstein, he gave the payback in his own way to Trump. He's like, "You're not gonna get away with this, bitch." So in a way, like I feel like something about like Sessions at the same time, I feel like the feeling I get about him is the card, there's a tarot card called Judgment. It's like the Judgment Day. I feel like that's what happens to him. It's almost like he's hit by a lightning or something. Like he realizes, I don't think it's like, I don't believe he totally like repents, but he understands the mistake is made. Oh, this reminds me, guys, I have ADD, by the way. So this reminds me of a documentary I watched a long time ago, a great documentary about Lee Altwater. Lee Altwater was a Republican strategist. I remember like I randomly watched it and I really liked it. I didn't know who he was at the time. And this reminds me of the documentary. Lee Altwater was a horrible person, horrible Republican strategist. And he coined the term, so I don't know if he coined, but it's like became famous from the documentary, Southern strategies, like how they exploit racism. And I remember this as like, I have goosebumps now. It's like he's in his deathbed. He had some sort of stroke or like some very serious brain problem that he was like, he became like this at the end. And he's like, I'm so sorry for everything I've done. And I'm getting goosebumps saying this. He's like, I loved music, and I love African-American music. And I did everything. I'm like, I'm getting goosebumps. He's like, I did everything to not destroy, but it was like to make life harder for African-American people. I regret it so much. And he was one of those people. He was sort of like Roger Stone, but like, and he was like very charismatic, but a horrible person. So anyway, so it kind of reminds me on a lower degree. That's what I think happens to Jeff Sessions. Not that he's not like Lee Atwater, because Lee Atwater was a person who he was a great dancer. He was very like a cool person. He was like friendly, charming, and everything. Jeff Sessions is very uptight. You know, he's basically like a gay man who does not accept his sexuality, I think. So, but anyways, but something happens to him like that. Like at some point he realizes that he was so wrong. He was just so wrong. And it's almost like he has a religious experience, almost like God comes to him and like explains how it rolls. You know, that like hate doesn't get you anywhere. And that once he understands that, then like his spirit is freed. Not freed, you know, but kind of like he gets the point of his life, which is to learn that bigotry is wrong. Okay, so, but he had to do it all the way. Yeah, Diane. Yeah, he's a horrible person. I mean, he is, but that's what I'm seeing. Basically, I think what's interesting about him is that unlike, let's say, Stephen Miller, he actually was like, you know, no, I'm not gonna sacrifice my entire career for this random dude who never had to work for anything. And that's what it's like. Survival pushes him to talk, but once he talks, he realizes there's good in what he's doing. Okay. So that's Jeff Sessions. Now it's 4:30. I'm gonna, maybe we can go into 5, but there's so many questions, guys. It's like crazy. All right. So, okay. So there's I don't know if you want, I don't know if I should, I don't know what you think, like, because there's this whole, you know what, maybe I should do this at the beginning of the next reading, because it's the whole thing about Jared's family. I'm very interested in his dad, because his dad is featured very strongly in this book. And, I don't, for those of you, I'm sure you all probably know this. He went to prison, like he was being investigated for tax fraud. Okay. So his brother-in-law, the husband of his sister, was talking to the feds. Okay. So in payback, he hired a prostitute and had the prostitute, and this prostitute slept with his brother-in-law and filmed the encounter. Okay. And then he sent it to his sister, the video of them like sleeping together. Like, I'm not kidding. You can look it up. Just like, and then he served I think 18 months or like 2 years or so. I forgot how long, but he was served time in a prison in Alabama, and Jared Kushner would visit him every weekend. So anyway, and then I was reading this book. It's so creepy. Like, it's saying how this is like, I don't even know. I'm like, or it wasn't in the article. It was like so creepy. He's like, so Jared Kushner in public meetings, he calls his dad daddy, and they kiss in public. Jared Kushner kisses his dad. I don't know if it's a lip kiss, but it's kind of creepy. It's like creeporama, like hello, it's kind of like weird. Okay, it is a little shady. Okay, and it's shady because for several reasons, but mostly because like this is a crazy person. Like you can't. I'm talking about him because like it's related to the Comey firing, because like the Comey firing is like was in some ways, according to this book, like very influenced by Charles Kushner, his dad. So I feel like I need to know more about their relationship. And if it's true that they kiss, can you imagine? Like, hello, like what else? We don't really talk about it. Like, what happens? Whoa, right? Like, like, I think I don't need to like, it's like, were they having a relationship of some sort? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hello, like, and then, this person, like, okay, imagine like if you had a relative, like your dad or whatever, did something like this. There's one thing you do. You don't listen to a person who does this. Like, what kind of person does this? Okay, like, hello. So anyway, so that's why I want to do a reading on what happens to their relationship, the Jared and dad's relationship, and then B, what happens to the Kushner empire as a result of the Mueller investigation, because ultimately that's what is at stake here. That's why Charles Kushner wanted James Comey fired, because he was being investigated, like his properties, something like that. So So that's what I want to know. And that leads into whether Ivanka, okay, whether Ivanka's going to be indicted. I feel like I've done so many reasons on her, but I don't think did I ask that directly? I don't know. So let's look at whether Ivanka's going to be indicted, whether I have never looked into Eric Trump, but he came up this weekend. Brad Parscale is this very shady digital operations guy. I need to do a reading on him, by the way, but he's like, please stop the lies. Like, it was Eric Trump and Jared Kushner who are in charge. Like, everybody followed their direction. So he basically threw Eric Trump under the bus. So we need to look into Eric Trump, okay? If Eric Trump is going to be indicted, if Ivanka is going to be indicted, and so I don't think, now it's like I don't have like I don't think I should do this because this is going to be very involved. I have that list of Republicans to do. Okay, so you know what? This is what I think we should do just to change a little. I've talked about it now already. So I still feel like we should do the Republicans because there's like, it's really a big deal. Okay. So I think, you know what, I'll see how I feel, but basically next one, it's just 6 o'clock in an hour and 20 minutes, something like that. I'm going to come back and either get started with, maybe I should do this, Jared and his dad and the Kushner empire, and then whether Ivanka and Eric are going to be indicted. Okay. And then I can start the Republicans, because the Republicans, there's like, I think right now 18 of them. It's a long list and I haven't even there's a lot more to do, but I think I need to do Maggie. So I feel like I'm going to get started with the Kushner family, okay, for understanding the relationship between Kushner, his dad, the Kushner empire, whether Eric is going to be indicted, whether Ivanka is going to be indicted. And then I'm going to go into Don McGahn, who is the White House counsel, and then Chuck Grassley, Trey Gowdy, all, I have the list. You guys didn't see the list, okay? There's a long list of the people that I'm going to do. So I'm going to take a break, okay? I'm going to close now. I'm going to stop the video because it's already an hour and a half. Oh, interesting. Sia saying, it is common for Jewish men to kiss each other. Yeah, I'm Brazilian, but we kiss, actually, Brazilian men, they only hold hands. Like, men can kiss women on the cheeks. And we, when you introduce to men, you do this. But men never it's like, whoa, but Brazilians are like, kind of like a macho culture a little bit, even though there's so many like travestites, whatever, I don't understand. Anyway, but basically yeah. Anyway, I'm ADD. Okay. So anyway, so I'm going to take a break now because there's another session at 6. And when it starts at 6, I'm going to go back to the Kushner and Trump family. And then after that, I'm going to do the other Republicans that are on the list. Okay. All right. All right, guys. So I'm going to take a break. Okay. I'll be back at 6. And then there's another 1-9. So just because I feel like there's so many topics, right? There's just a lot. There's a lot. So I'll see you at 6. Okay. And I won't be late. All right. Okay. Bye for now.